Hey everybody, welcome to Life on Turkey Lane. I hope everybody's doing okay tonight. I am going to be doing another Instant Pot recipe for supper tonight. And so I thought I would bring you along. We're going to see how it turns out. I've never made this before. And so we're going to kind of wing it a little bit and just see how it goes. So let's get started. Okay, so tonight, like I said, we're going to be doing an Instant Pot recipe. We're going to be making kind of like pork carnitas, or, you know, stuff to do kind of like a soft taco. I've got a couple, a few pounds of like a pork roast here, or pork loin that we're going to be working with. So I've got my Instant Pot here, and you really can't see it. It's kind of out of the way, back out of the way here. But I'm just going to go ahead and open that up, and I've got my my savory ring, or whatever you call that thing in here. I use my red one for yogurt. This clear one, I use for regular food, because these little gaskets here, they do start to smell like the food you've cooked with them, and could also, you know, like if you're making something plain like yogurt, might make it taste weird. So I've got the regular gasket in there, and get my pork here. Like I said, I've got probably about 3 pounds of meat here, and I'm just gonna put it. It's partially frozen still and partially thawed. But you could use completely frozen meat, or you can use completely thawed meat. It doesn't matter. Let me get a couple paper towels. Just gonna wipe up that mess a little bit and kind of wipe my hands off. But anyway, as you can see, I've got the meat down there in the Instant Pot. And so I'm just going to start adding to that. The first step, I'm going to add 1 cup of water. This is just regular tap water. I'm just going to throw that in there. And now I'm going to use 2 jalapeno peppers. These are really big ones. Let's see. I'm going to use 2 of the smaller ones. Those are some pretty big peppers. Get out a knife here. Here's my favorite knife. I had to dig and find it. But I'm just going to cut off the stem of that. And I'm going to just split them in half there. Now I am going to deseed, or deseed. I should have said that a little slower. Just by a little bit. I'm just going to take a spoon and just scrape most of that seeds and ribs out. Don't have to be perfect. I just don't want mine to be super spicy. Okay, so let me get this in the trash can. So that way we don't get hot pepper seeds all over everything here. Okay. Now, I don't put jalapeno pepper seeds and the ends and stuff like that in any kind of compost or feed them to the chickens. First of all, chickens don't really like hot and spicy stuff, but also I don't want anything like that growing in my compost bin or anything like that. And then I've got a few of these mini peppers, and I'm just gonna I'm just using them for flavoring. And so I just cut the ends off of those. These don't have to really be deseeded or anything because they're not spicy. These are the sweet peppers, and I'm just gonna throw them into the pot there, just for some flavor. Now I have 2 oranges here, just regular old navel oranges that I am gonna cut in half, and I'm gonna squeeze the juice into my pot here. Let's see if I can get you over here where you can see into the pot. I want you to be able to see into the pot here. There we go. And anyway, I'm just squeezing the orange juice into there best I can, and I'm going to go ahead and leave the whole oranges. These are not real juicy. I'm just going to go ahead and throw the whole oranges right in there. And now I really should be using, I've got some lemon juice over here. I'm going to pick the little end, I'm going to pick the little blossom end off that orange so it don't cook off of there and fall into the pot and somebody eat it. That is, if I can get it off there. Wow, that booger was really on there. Better do that to this. Oh, that one don't have one. Okay. So, I really should be using lime juice, but I only, or lime, but I only have lemon juice. So I'm just going to put about 2 tablespoons of the lemon juice in there. There we go. Let's see, I'm going to put one of these Mexican cube things that I found in there. This is by McCormick. I found this at one of our salvage grocery stores for 75 cents. So I'm just going to try one today and see if I like it. It's Flavor Cube Seasoning Mexican. Now, I don't know if it's spicy or not. So, we're just going to try one. Like I said, we're kind of winging it. They smell pretty good. So I'm just going to put one of those down in there. It's red. It's probably got a little bit of paprika and chili powder and all that in there. So we're going to use that. These are soft, and I'm just going to crumble it up in there. Now I'm going to have to rinse my fingers off because I got stuff on them. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to add some herbs and spices. I'm going to put just a dash of cumin. I'm not even going to really measure this. I'm going to sprinkle maybe a half teaspoon to a teaspoon of cumin. I'm going to throw a bay leaf in there. I'm going to go ahead and tuck it kind of down in the liquid a little bit. Throw a bay leaf in there. I'm going to do a dash of onion powder. Better get the other side open there. We'll be sprinkling a whole lot in there. So I'm going to do maybe a half teaspoon of onion powder. I'm going to use some of my dried basil. This is from the last batch that I dried. So I left the leaves kind of whole, so I'm going to go ahead and crunch them. So we got about a teaspoon of the basil here. I think that's going to do good. And now here is oregano. I'm almost out, so that's why we're having to do some oregano and stuff. Again, these are whole leaves, so I'm just gonna crunch them up in my fingers here. That smells so good. These herbs, these are my own home-grown herbs that I dehydrate. I'm gonna put just a little bit more of that in there. Give that lots of good flavor. I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle some parsley in there too. I'm gonna do the same thing. This is my home dehydrated parsley. And when you break them up like that, when you leave the leaves whole and then you break them up in your dish, then you get all those essential oils and stuff and flavors. If you crush them up beforehand, like when you buy them in the bottles and they're already crushed up, a lot of that fragrance and the flavoring is gone because it's already like evaporated off of there and stuff. So so you crush it up when you throw it in there, and then you're ready to go. And I'm going to put probably about a half teaspoon of chili powder. And let me get some salt. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. First, let me add a little dash of pepper, just regular old black pepper. And we're going to do probably about a good teaspoon or so of salt. And that should be good. I probably should have waited to put my water in there after I got those in there. So, but anyway, we're just going to keep that in there. Might go ahead and sprinkle just a little bit of water in there just to get some of that salt and spices down in there. Okay, so now you can see I've got everything in the pan here, and so now I'm going to start it. Let me get that little bit of debris out of the way. So let's go ahead and get the lid on. Plug this thing in. Here, let me go ahead and plug it in. Turn the lid on, and let's see. See if you can see that here. I'm going to cook it, I'm going to pressure cook on the more and the high setting for about 45 minutes. I want to make sure that meat is nice and done. So it should start here in just a minute. We'll hear some beeping. And it's on. So we're going to let this come up to pressure and it'll cook for about 45 minutes, and then we're going to do a release on it, and I'll show you what we're going to do from there. So I'll be back. Okay, everybody, so the carnita, the meat is cooked, and I have done an instant release, or I didn't wait for it to completely natural release. I went ahead and did a quick release on my pot, and so now I'm just going to aim you down here and show you. I'm going to open the Instant Pot here. Like I said, when you open a pressure cooker, you make sure you open it away from you so any steam and stuff doesn't get you. And so the very first thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and pick out any of the vegetables and the oranges and stuff that I put in here with the meat. I'm just going to grab all those out. Okay. The vegetables are really tender. They're pretty much spent. Okay. So now I'm just going to take my meat. Let me get this out of the way here. And pull this up. I gone ahead and I've shredded some lettuce, and I've got some onion and tomatoes over there because we're going to eat these kind of like tacos. I'm going to take a couple of forks, and I'm just going to start trying to shred this meat here. Let me see. Get them out on my sheet pan here. Yeah. That juice in there smells and looks wonderful. I'm gonna scoot that back here, and I'm just gonna start like kind of shredding this meat a little bit. Shredding pretty easy with the little fork here. Smells good. So anyway, I'm going to finish shredding this up, and then I've got my oven set to on the broil setting. And as soon as this is shredded up, we're going to stick these in the oven for just a little bit on broil. Actually, the timer hasn't gone off yet, so the oven's not even ready. So we have plenty of time to shred these. But as you can see, even though my meat was semi-frozen when I put it in there, it is pretty tender. So I'm just going to finish shredding all that up, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've got the meat shredded pretty good, and I'm just going to spread it out on this. I've got like a big pizza pan with some parchment paper on it. I'm just going to kind of spread it out because, as you know, like carnitas have kind of like almost like a burnt tip edge to them, or like a crispy edge to them. And so I've got my oven on broil, and I'm just going to stick this in the oven for just a little bit to kind of get a crispy edge on this meat. Give it a little bit more flavor there, and we'll see how long that takes, and I'll be back when it's ready. Okay guys, so after about 10 minutes, I turned the carnitas once when they were in the oven, just so I could get a little bit of crispy on the other side. And so it took about 10 minutes to crisp all this up, but you could see how brown it kind of got. And what I'm going to do, and I tasted the sauce and added just a little bit more salt to it, but the sauce is really, really good. And so I'm just going to add this shredded meat back in there and kind of stir them around a little bit. Try to get as much off the sheet pan as I can before I kind of tip it in there and get the rest of it. It would help if I open those up. So I know you can't really see in there too much, but I'm going to get you around where you can see in there here in a minute. Kind of cool to the touch, I'm just going to pick that up and go ahead and just pour it all in there. Move this out of the way. And I had a little bit of a mishap. Not really a mishap, but when I got these done and got them in the oven, now see, I just bought a big old bag of shredded cheese last week, and I also bought some tortilla shells. Let's see if I can raise you up a little bit so you can see down in there a little better. See down in there good? So I just put that meat back in that sauce, and I'm just gonna stir it around a little bit and let it sit there for a minute. I'm gonna do a little taste test for you here though, here in a second. But anyway, when I got in the fridge, even though I just bought shredded cheese and I just bought tortilla shells, they're gone. So tonight I'm gonna use these. I buy these things from one of the Korean markets around here, and they're actually real low in carbs and real low in fat and calories. They're, I think it's puffed rice kind of thing, but it's it almost looks like a tortilla shell. But they're really good, and like I said, they don't have hardly any calories or any fat. The only thing is that they will soak up the juice and it'll kind of dissolve a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of lettuce on the bottom first, kind of as a barrier. And then I did have a little bit of Velveeta cheese left. That's not usually what I put on my tacos. So anyway, I've got a little bit of shredded Velveeta cheese that I'm just going to sprinkle on there a little bit. Like I said, that's not generally what I put on my tacos and wouldn't be what I would normally use. But that's what we've got, so that's what we're doing. I've got a little bit of shredded onion here, or chopped up onion. Just going to sprinkle a little of that on there. Let me see if I can get this closer for you to look at here, so you can see what I'm doing here. So I've got my little tortilla, and I've got a little bit of shredded lettuce and a little bit of onion and cheese. I'm going to put just a dash of sour cream. Whoops, it kind of went off the edge there. I'm making a mess everywhere now. Okay. We'll just act like I didn't spill that all over the counter. And now I'm going to get a little bit of my carnita meat. Like I said, that juice is really good. Really good stuff here. And I'm going to get a little bit of tomatoes to top that off with, just for some added color and flavor. And I should have put this on a plate, you think? So just to be proper, let me get a plate. So anyway, so there's my carnita, absent of the normal flour or corn tortilla shell. And but anyway, let's bring you up here and do a little bit of a taste test for you. Okay, now this is going to be kind of messy because I'm going to have to pick it up kind of like a tostada, and it's liable to break apart. I've got so much stuff here, so well, let's see. So anyway, I'll bring it up here. I got like a little half piece. The meat is tender. Oh, that's good. I know, don't you love these cooking videos where everybody's like, they do their own cooking and then they're like, oh yeah, that's super good, that's delicious. Just one time, wouldn't you like somebody to tell you, oh gosh, I made a mistake, that's awful. But anyway, this is really good. I hope you'll try this quick carnita recipe. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful, blessed evening. See you later. Bye.